What is up, Magic the Gathering community? This is Psycho Juggernaut. And this is going to be my first Commander deck tech. It's a deck I built from the ground up with the idea from Commander's Quarters. Shout out to Mitch at Commander's Quarters. And so this deck I built kind of to be more of a sea creature theme. Let's kind of get into it. All right, Arixmethes is 2 green-blue for a 12/12 legendary creature Kraken. And he comes in with the 5 slumber counters on him. And he's a land as long as those slumber counters are on him. Whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from Arixmethes. And he taps for green-blue. So that's good. Sleeves are Ultra Pro Eclipse sleeves. Deck box is also Ultra Pro. Thought it was pretty on theme. Seems pretty cool. All right, let's start off with the basic lands. We got 10 forest, 19 islands. Reason I stuck with basic lands is I didn't want to have any of these kind of comes into play tapped lands, and just wanted to kind of have, if the lands are ready to go when I play them, I don't have to wait another turn for it to be untapped. The non-basic lands that I have are Nesting Grounds. I can tap for a colorless, or I can pay 1 and tap it, move a counter from target permanent you control onto another target permanent. Activate this ability only when you can cast a sorcery. So it's only at sorcery speed, but I enjoy it because the slumber counters only mean something when they're on Arixmethes. I can pay 1 and tap it and tap Nesting Grounds and move that to another permanent. That it doesn't matter what the slumber counter means on it. And Evolve in Wilds. Of course, if I'm stuck on too many of islands or forest, I can go search up for what I need. Okina, Temple of Grandfathers. I can tap for green, or if I need that extra oomph, kind of punch to any of the Krakens, I can pay green and tap it. Legendary creature gets the +1/+1 until end of turn. Command Tower, classic staple. If I need any particular color and I don't have it at the moment, Command Tower comes in clutch. Thespian Stage, I have in this deck is a 2-card combo for Dark Depths. And as you can see, Dark Depths comes into the battlefield with 10 ice counters. That's going to take quite a bit. You have to pay 3 to remove an ice counter and all that stuff. The way the combo works is have Dark Depths on the field, regardless of how many ice counters you get. When you have put Thespian Stage in, you can pay 2 and tap it, and it becomes a copy of target land, except it has this ability. That second part to that second ability doesn't really matter. But what you do is have this out, since it's a legendary land. Once you copy it with Thespian Stage, you then have 2 legendaries, and you have to sack 1 because it's the same. But because Thespian Stage technically didn't come into play as Dark Depths, you don't have to pay to take those 10 ice counters off. You just copy the land, and as soon as you do, you get the 2020 Black Avatar creature token with flying and indestructible. Yeah, it's pretty big. All right, let's move on to the one Planeswalker I have in this deck. It's Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. I like using the untapped target permanent, whether it's for lands or creatures that I may need, especially if I need to get the extra mana from Arixmethes. I'll go ahead and untap that, or if it was tapped down for any reason, I can untap it. There you go. Next is going to be the sorceries. Nature's Lore, search your library for a forest card, put that in battlefield, and shuffle your library. It does not come into play tapped, which is awesome. And it's just when I'm kind of stuck and I need that extra forest for anything, just go and search it. Good ramp. Treasure Hunt. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card, and then put all cards revealed this way into your hand. It's a pretty good card just to kind of reveal permanents and just kind of fill up my hand. Ramp Your Growth. Ramp. Pretty straightforward on that one. Whelming Wave. Return all creatures that or to their owner's hands except for krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. The majority of creatures in this deck are going to be krakens, leviathans, octopuses, or serpents, which is pretty fun. Sticks to the sea creature theme. Next is going to be instants. Turn to Frog. Target creature loses all abilities and becomes a 1/1 frog until end of turn. This kind of gets an opponent out of the way, or at least makes it a 1/1 blue frog. Say it's a 5/5 or something bigger. It gets them to be a 1/1 frog and less likely for them to like chump block, because if at the end of turn it's going to go back to their normal creature. So it's just, it makes it less of a hassle for me. Let me move these over here. Gift of Strength. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains reach until end of turn. I'm trying to make any or most of my creatures in this deck big, so giving it +3/+3 and giving it reach in case there's any flyers. It's really good. Opt. It's a good card to kind of help me see if it's a land and I need it, keep it there. If not, tuck it, and hopefully it's a non-land card when I draw the card. So it's a little bit, I guess, card advantage in a way, but it also helps me fix it slightly. Clock Spinning. This one's very important for Arixmethes. I really only use it on Arixmethes. Let's straighten it back up here. So Clock Spinning is 1 instant with buyback of 3. So thing is, when you play spells, you remove slumber counters off of Arixmethes. When I have Clock Spinning, I play it, even if I just pay it for 1, it is a spell, so it'll remove 1, and it says choose a counter, a target permanent, or suspend a card, remove that counter from that permanent, or put another of those counters on it. I don't really put another counter of anything unless it's a +1/+1 counter or indestructible, whatever. If it benefits me, I'll put it on there. Most of the time, I am taking stuff off of Arixmethes. So most of the time, too, if I have enough mana, I will use the buyback for 3, so it's 4 total. It's 1 counter off for just playing a spell, 2 for this effect, and I already have it back in my hand. If I have more mana, I can then remove it again. So it's just a quicker way of getting Arixmethes from being a land to a creature, so you can swing for the 12/12. It's pretty frightening for some players. Teferi's Time Twist. This card I originally put in here to kind of help blink some stuff. It's a card that I'm not too attached to in this deck. I may replace it eventually, but it's exile target permanent you control, return the card to the battlefield under its owner's control. At the beginning of your next end step, if it enters as a creature, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. I will not ever use this on Arixmethes. I use it on other creatures to save them, because if I try to blink Arixmethes, he will leave the battlefield, but when he enters the battlefield again, he's back to being a land, back to having 5 slumber counters. That's a hassle. Not going to do it. So I will remove this eventually. Right now it's in there, and I will put the deck list in the description in my Mox field. Next card is Unsummon. This is to get other creatures out of the way of my opponents. Kind of just, if I'm trying to swing in and something just seems like they can chump block, or it seems threatening enough, as long as they don't have a counter spell or something, my attempt is to return target creature to its owner's hand, get out of the way, Arixmethes coming through, 12/12 at least. If not, pumping them up with something like Untamed Might, which is X green. Target creature, gets +X until end of turn. So as much mana as I have, I can pump up Arixmethes, other creatures in this deck, and just kind of go crazy. Just knock somebody out. It's like, really, look at that artwork. Just swinging on somebody. All right. Last of the instance. It's unnatural predation. And it's target creature gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. Especially if I have Arixmethes or something big, chunky on the field, just giving them that 1/1 and giving trample is really just kind of rolling over into damage into my opponent. All right, next is going to be artifacts. Sol Ring, classic, especially if for some reason, and I've had many times, my commander has either been countered or destroyed when it was a land. My brother did that to me with Ghost Quarters, and he said, yeah, time to learn. So I did, and commander text is not fun. Sol Ring helps with that, and other things in the deck. Lightning Greaves, equipped creature has haste and shroud. Really helps when I'm just kind of in a sticky situation and I need something to hit my opponents with. Call the Wings, excuse me. Call the Wings 2, it's artifact equipment. Equipped creature has flying. Equip cost is only 1, so after having so much mana in this deck, I'm not really worried about 3 total to give something flying. There are a couple more enchantments, which I'll get to in this deck, but also this equipment, and I think another one that will give Arixmethes flying or other creatures flying. And it's really scary, especially if it's just flying, like this card. 12/12 Kraken flying at you. That's pretty fun to me. Also, another shout out to Mitch at Commander's Quarters. Wayfarer's Bauble. I mean, classic card. It works efficiently. Traveler's Amulet. Sacrifice it. Search your library. And I do have some ramp cards in here just to kind of get the mana ready to go and flowing for the big creatures. Rune Crown. I do have 2 runes in here. So you pay 3 to artifact equipment. When Rune Crown enters the battlefield, you may search your library, hand, and or graveyard for a rune card and put it into the battlefield attached to Rune Crown. And search your library this way, shuffle it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. So the 2 runes I have in here, I think are, they're going to be in enchantments. So we'll get to those in a second. I think it's the Rune of Flight and the Rune of Might. We'll see those, and it's just, this helps kind of get those cards out and make the Krakens bigger, scarier. Civic Signet, pay 1, get 2. It's pretty simple to me. All right, on to the enchantments. We have Casmina's Transmutation. Enchant creature loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 1/1. Similar to the Turn to Frog. This one does not end at end of turn though, so this kind of just gets the big scary things on my opponent's boards out of the way. Ominous Seas, sea creature theme, on point. Whenever you draw a card or put a Foreshadow counter on Ominous Seas, remove 8 Foreshadow counters from Ominous Seas and create an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token. Drawing cards, like, it's not a main theme in this deck, but definitely drawing cards each turn, put a counter on this. If I have the clock spinning and Arixmethes is already a creature, I don't have to focus on taking the slumber counters off. I will definitely use the Foreshadow counters on this and multiply them when I can, and just get these 8/8 blue Kraken tokens out sooner. Convincing Mirage, enchant land. As Convincing Mirage enters the battlefield, choose a basic land type. Enchanted land is that chosen type. I believe I do have 1 card in here. It's Inkwell Leviathan, once I get to the creatures, it has Island Walk. So if I have that in hand or it's already on the field, this really helps enchant my opponent's lands and make it an island. That way I could just swing Inkwell Leviathan in and just hit them hard with that. If not, and I am nonstop stuck on so many islands, I can turn something into a forest of mine, and there you go. And I have a forest and able to move on from that. Flight, enchant creature has flying. Like I said before, flying sea creatures, flying krakens, flying leviathans coming at you is pretty scary. Flying is kind of evasive a little bit, so no one expects sea creatures to be flying at you, especially a 12/12. I don't know. I just love this deck. It's one of my first decks that I built from the ground up. We'll talk more about it after the deck review and talk about future deck reviews as well. Spreading Seas, enchant land, draw a card. Enchant land is island. This also helps with Island Walk and kind of gets it taken care of. Quest for Ula's Temple. It's an enchantment for 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it quest counter on Ula's Temple. At the beginning of each end step, if there are 3 or more quest counters on Quest for Ula's Temple, you may put a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Having this build up its quest counters, and just being able to drop giant things, which you'll see once we get to the creatures here in a minute, being able to drop them for free is crazy. Frogify, another turn to 1/1, and this one is enchant creature. It does not end at end of turn, so it's basically making big scary stuff little wimpy frogs or little just 1/1s. Colossification, enchant creature, and when it enters the battlefield, tap the enchanted creature, but enchanted creature gets +20/+20. Another reason I have Kiora in here is when I bring out Colossification, slap it on Arixmethes or any other one, it will come into play. Like, it'll tap that creature. Say I put it on Arixmethes, tap him, use Kiora. Sorry, I keep making a mess here. Use Kiora to untap. And if I have flying on this thing, that's even better. But then that will be, alone with Colossification, a 32/32. If someone is not scared of that, then they must have removal or there must be a bigger threat at the table. But 32/32 coming at you, that would be scary to me. So making this deck kind of scary to other people to see. Favor the Overbearing. It's enchant creature. As long as the enchant creature is green, it has vigilance. So I won't have to tap Arixmethes if I attach this to it. And if the enchant creature is blue, it has flying. Again, flying Leviathans is a theme in this deck for me. Just flying at you. And hope you have a flyer. Hope you have some type of removal or blocker. All right, Kiora Best the Sea God. It's 5 blue Saga, and this creates the on its first chapter, I guess you would say, it'll create a 8/8 blue Kraken creature with hexproof. The second one, tap all non-land permanents target creature controls. They don't untap during their controller. So it's like this comes out and it starts to, I start to become somewhat of the problem if I don't have a huge board state. And then gain control of target permanent and opponent controls, untap it. If I see something on the board that I like and it gets to the third chapter on this, it's mine. Arcane Adaptation. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control their chosen type in addition to their other types. So if I have the whelming wave and it says return all, like I can make all my creatures, even if they're not the specified creature type to return to hand, I can make them that creature type with arcane adaptation. So the same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So it's all in the deck. If it says search your deck for, I don't think I have it in this deck, but I've had something that says search your deck for a Kraken, Leviathan, whatever, then even if it's not, this card says it is. Leyline of Anticipation. I'd like to put this in there, or I did put it in there. I really liked putting this in here because it gives me the opportunity to play something. Say I'm the next in turn order. As soon as that person before me ends their turn, I can flash something in real quick, and it'll be ready to go on my turn. So I really like this one. I mean, the art is beautiful. Sea creature theme, or just sea themed, and it just felt good to put in this deck. Arcane Flight, 1/1 flying. Yeah, it's simple. It's one blue, you enchant a creature. Here's a Rune of Might. Enchant permanent. When Rune of Might enters the battlefield, draw a card. As long as the enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets 1/1 and has trample. If it's equipment, or if the enchant permanent is equipment, I don't really care about that part too much, unless I think it's going to fall off the creature for some reason. If someone reveals that they have a board wipe or start saying that they're going to board wipe, I'd rather put this on equipment. So when they destroy all creatures, this is still on the equipment, and I can just attach it back to said creature when I start to rebuild my board state. And Rune of Flight, another instance of giving something flying. To me, I just wanted to do that in this deck, and it sounds fun. I'll probably see maybe a few more in here. I don't know. Quest for Renewal. Whenever a creature you control becomes tapped, you may put a counter on Quest for Renewal as long as there's as long as there are 4 or more. Sorry, tripping on my words here. Quest counters on Quest of Renewal. Untap all creatures you control during each other's player's untap step. This really helps if I've attacked to try to do some damage or take out another player, as long as this has the required counters on it, the next person's in turn order untaps, all my creatures untap. I'm able to block again if needed. A lot of the creatures in this deck are big, so I can take care of other creatures as long as they become untapped. Pimen's Aura. This is also a combo to attach to Arixmethes, and because he taps for green-blue, I can tap it and have green-blue open, pay blue to untap target creature. I can have infinite green mana, and at that point, I can decide to pump it. Enchanted creature gets +1, -1, or -1, +1. So if I really need to take a big hit, I can figure out how much I need of green mana, keep doing the untap combo and everything, and then pump it into the enchant creature and stuff. So this is good to pretty much only attach to Arixmethes to get that kind of combo going. Freed the Reel is also another infinite green mana if I need it. For some reason, if I need to pump like the other instant that I had that's X green, I think it was Untamed Might, and just pump it +X after untapping it so many times. All right, let's get into the creatures, and then I can kind of do a post hoc on the video of this deck. So, old card, Giant Oyster. Let me just set that aside real quick. There's a lot of words on this card. It's wordy and old, but it's a 2 blue oyster. Let me get in the focus. You may choose not to untap giant oyster during your untap phase. So it's not required to untap him. And the ability target tapped creature does not untap during its controller's untap phase as long as its giant oyster remains tapped. That's a lot of tap and untapped in that sentence. During your upkeep, put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. If giant oyster becomes untapped or leaves play, remove all these counters from that creature. So thing behind this card is if someone just attacked, then as long as I kind of have him available, basically clamp down on him with a giant oyster, and then say again during your upkeep. So during my upkeep, I know it's a long process, but it fits the theme. I liked it, so I put it in there, and it gets -1/-1, so it slowly ticks down and basically kills that creature. So on theme, it's a 0/3, kind of just trap that creature down and do that. All right, Land of Werewolves, mana dork. Paradise Druid, mana dork, but it has hexproof as long as it's untapped, so a little bit harder to deal with. Nadir Kraken, when you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on the Kraken and create a tentacle. So this kind of helps me build like a board state a little bit. If I draw a card and I'm able to pay it, it's putting a bunch of 1/1s out there, but also pumping him up at the same time. So on theme, love the art. Pretty cool. All right. Slinvada, the Rising Deep, 6 blue, and has the kicker. When it enters, if it was kicked, return all creatures to their owner's hands, except if it was merfolk, krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. So that's when that arcane adaptation comes in. I can make everything the required creature type, and all the creatures, it's just like, in a way, a budget Cyclonic Rift. I guess I think it's more than paying. I don't know. That may sound stupid, but anyways, it's returning everything else to their owner's hands, as long as I personally meet this on my board state and just slap him down. He's an 88 big guy, especially if I give him flying. That's scary. Seaborn Muse, untap all permanents you control during each other's player's untap step. This helps again with untapping like the quest for renewal, and helps open up blockers and have those ready for combat on my players other opponent's turn. Coma, I had to. I mean, just I cracked this open getting Kaldheim. I got the bundle, and just I pulled that art, and I'm like, I love this card so much. It's great. I love the showcase on Kaldheim cards. So cool, and it is just OP. I mean, especially from playing on Commander's Court, or no, not Commander's Court, sorry, Command Zone. And just seeing that, the popularity went up, price went up. Its abilities are just ridiculous. It says at the beginning of each upkeep. So everybody's upkeep, I'm getting 3/3 blue serpents, but I can sacrifice it at instant speed and either tap target permanent and its active abilities can't be activated this turn, or I can make him indestructible. Plus, he can't be countered. So out of all the mana I'm going to be having in this deck with everything, 3 green, blue, can't be countered for a 6/6 serpent. Sea creature theme fits well. Ooh, Eldrazi. Elder Deep Fiend for 8. Or I can pay the emerge cost. Has flash when you cast this, tap up to 4 target permanents. Having this come in on the player's end step before my turn, taps down stuff, gets like their field ready for me to deal damage. I am not going to try to say that. Okay, maybe I Keterakekt Leviathan? I don't know. But it comes into play, return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. So this is when I'm in a pinch. I could just, return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. And it just helps clear the board. If I'm behind, it catches me up and puts everything else into the owner's hands. Simic Sky Swallower. It's 5 green blue. I know I haven't been saying the mana cost on some of these, but I mean, you can obviously see them. Flying Trample and Shroud for 6/6. Leviathan. Flying Leviathans. Stick to theme. Galactopus. Octoprofit. Sorry, that was a meme reference. When Octoprofit enters the battlefield, scry 2. So this kind of helps fix stuff. If I'm good on lands, I can tuck the lands and have something better on top of my deck. If not, and I'm mana screwed and I really need lands, if they're creatures, spells, artifacts, whatever, I can tuck those and hope for lands coming up next. So that's not too bad. I put this one in there as a space filler for sea creatures. It's octopus, fits the theme, so it's fun. This is not a very huge competitive deck. I don't think any of my decks are going to be CEDH level. I don't plan to play very competitively. I do have more competitive decks, and I'll see those in the future. But yeah, I'm not trying to play all the staples, all the cards that everyone has. I don't want the same play every single time I play a different deck. So yeah, so I try to change it up. I try to have somewhat of a theme. If the, what am I gonna say? If the flavor fits and it's putting me behind a little bit on a curve, or if it fits well, but it's not the most optimal card, then I'll contemplate put it in. Most likely I would put it in, but I'm not trying to have Ristic Study, Smothering Tithe, and just have in 100 card format. I'm not trying to have 20, 30, 40 cards all be the same in every single deck. I'm trying to show some variety, whether it's a creature like type all, or it's enchantments, or if I'm doing tokens, something like that. I want it to kind of switch it up with every deck that I have. Granted, you will see some cards repeat themselves in other decks as I make more videos. Yeah, I just try not to kind of create every deck to be exactly the same. I want to have fun. I love playing Magic. Let's get back to the creatures. Stormtide Leviathan. 5 blue, blue, blue. Island Walk. This is another Leviathan. I forgot I had him in here. With Island Walk, if I used one of my Carventuring Mirages, or I forget the other one, we just went over. But anyways, if I can create an island on somebody's board state that they don't have islands, this really helps me get an 8/8 through. So, and then also all lands are islands in addition to other types. So, I guess if I don't have those out, this still works. Creatures without flying or Island Walk can't attack. So when I'm putting flying on a lot of my Krakens, I could just swing in. So flying is not a problem. I have this one that has Island Walk and another one. So this kind of helped me in different situations. Artwork is pretty cool. Coma World Eater. I'm really happy I cracked this one in Foundations. Also, this one can't be countered. It's 3 green, green, blue, blue. trample and ward 4, and when it deals combat damage to a player, create 4 3/3 serpents. So I can sack those with the other coma to make the other one indestructible and just have a bunch of 3/3 blue serpents. They're better than 1/1s. They're better than 2/2s, especially if I can sack them with the other coma. Yeah, just, and it's at 8/12. So even if I'm not like using the other ones, the other 3/3 blue serpents to attack, put some flying on this guy. It's like I'm going to be getting those 4 3/3 serpents, like flying 8/12. Yeah, pretty scary. Colossal Whale, another island walk. Whenever Colossal Whale attacks, you may exile target creature defending player controls until Colossal Whale leaves the battlefield. So just having a giant whale, being able to exile, like, because of the whale, that helps clear the way for attacks for me. Reform, I love this one because when Reform dies, he's only a 0/1, so obviously I'm going to jump block him with something. You see that fish back there? Yeah. So the 0/1 becomes the 3/3 blue fish, but there's always a bigger fish. So after the 3/3 dies, it becomes a 6/6 whale, and after the 6/6 whale dies, it becomes a 9/9 kraken. So it's just this really helps with board wipes, at least on my opponent's behalf. Like, or how do I say it? It's when my opponent's board wipe, when that's all they have is just constant bombs. Okay, it's a 0/1. Now it's a 3/3. Now it's a 6/6. Now it's a 9/9. So it's like board wipe after board wipe. It just, this thing just gets bigger and bigger. It just, the next big fish eats the smaller one. So I can see. Shapeshare. Target shapeshifter becomes a copy of target creature until your next turn. So I can copy Reef Worm. I can copy other ones that aren't legendary, because in the legendary rule I don't want to have to sack one. But yeah, this also helps. It's already all creature types at all times. So when I have something that says return all non-serpents, this guy still stays on the field. He's a 1/1 shapeshifter, big deal, but then I can copy something else on the board if I need to. Serpent of Yawning Depth. Krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents you control can't be blocked except by krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. So my sea creatures can't be blocked unless you have sea creatures. You as in my opponents. So I love this card when it came out from was it Theros Beyond Theros. This really helps get my big hitters through. I'm already gonna have big guys, so as long as I have one of them on the field, this will tap for 2 mana of any color. It is a mana dork when it first comes out. You could just tap for 1, but once I get the big boys out, this is gonna be tapping for 2. All right, this is a fun mana dork to me, because when it comes into play, I can choose blue, so then I can either tap it for green or blue, whatever I need at the time. It's versatile and will help if I have them in other decks, but I believe that's the only copy I have. Inkwell Leviathan, that's one of the ones I was talking about earlier. So it's an artifact creature, Leviathan, trample, island walk, shroud. If I put flying on this thing, or just make him unblockable, or have my opponents have islands, or I make them have islands, 7 is coming towards you. He already has the toughness of 11, so even if I don't have the island walk ability, he already has shroud. And yeah, just being able to attack with 7, and someone wants to block, I can take the damage as long as it's less than 11. I love this card. All right, Gilra's Follower, untap target permanent. This also helps untap when when I have Colossification enter the field. It's another instance of the untapping ability to help me get further in the game with Arixmethes being so slow. So, Tromocratus. I don't think I had, no, I didn't have this one. I think my brother either traded it to me or I purchased it, so I lucked out on getting the promo version of it, but it has hexproof, unless it's attacking or blocking, so that really helps. Kind of the evasion of it, if someone tries to deal with it, and it can't be blocked unless all creatures defending player controls block it. So if they have a bunch of small dudes, he's not going to be blocked unless they have enough small dudes to take out an 8/8. So AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait. You may play additional lands on each of your turns. This helps with me if I'm just non-stop drawing lands. It helps me put them on the field and be able to pump out these big sea creatures when I need to. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. So putting that land down it's that kind of landfall effect. I will draw a card. Hopefully it's ammunition, or hopefully it's just fuel for putting down better cards. It's more creatures, more enchantments, whatever it may be. If it's another land, cool, I'll draw another card on my next turn. Braids, Conjure Adept. This is, I put this in here to be kind of politicky. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player may put an artifact, creature, or land from his or her hand into play. I mean, this ultimately helps everybody, but nobody wants to get rid of it, kind of thing. Or if they do, they have to try to plan when to get rid of it so they can use the effect and put their artifact or creature or land from their hand into play. You don't have to cast it. It's not a casting, so if there's a casting ability that triggers for somebody else, it's not casting. It's putting it from your hand. It's basically saying, okay, boom, get this card, put it on the field. And it just, for me, it's going to help with these high costs. If I'm behind on mana, boom, I'm putting big creatures out into the field, and it just, the sea monsters and the krakens start to go crazy. Moss Viper, I did this this one is also kind of a space filler, not super thematic. It's a snake. I kind of picture Moss Viper to be on the back of Arixmethes and the jungle on his back, or the island. It's a death touch. It just kind of, to me, it's to put out there and kind of, if I don't have other creatures, kind of scare my opponents to like not attack me, because if they have something much bigger that it's just attacking me, doesn't have first strike or anything, it has death touch, I'm going to take it out. This is another mana dork. I love this one because it's a 0/4, so if I need to chump block something, it's not going to hit as hard as opposed to having a 1/1 or a 1/2 or 0/2, whatever. I mean, it's 0/4. It can take a little bit more of a hit, not huge, but yeah. So that is my deck tech for Arixmethes Slumbering Isle. Again, it was one of my first decks that I built from the ground up. I would like to share more deck building videos. I don't know how quickly I will get them out, but I love the play style of, I think a lot of Magic players call them Timmies. I like to do the thing. I like to do something big and be like, well, okay, I did it. Whether or not I'm winning. Of course, all of us want to win when we play. That's like, if I lose, I'm like, cool, shuffle up, let's play another game, whether it's with this same deck or it's another deck. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add to this video before I leave. It's already 45 minutes long on the dot. But yeah, I plan to do some other ones. A little story behind this one as well is I had a friend invite me to his game night. We played Magic. He invited a coworker. I had never met him before. He had saw my commander in the command zone. I had cast him. He comes into play in enters the battlefield tap. So when I cast him, when I sometimes turn 3, if I'm able to get that ramp going. But anyways, he comes into play tapped. He's a 12/12, still a land. I had that guy look at me and be like, "That's a 12/12? No way, I'm attacking you." All I had was lands and Arixmethes tapped, and I was an instant target for this guy. I kind of just, I toughed it out. I said, all right, you know what? Maybe this is just how this guy plays, and that's scary to him. Cool. That's what I built Arixmethes to do, to scare people. But what happened the next game was he said, "Are you playing with that Arixmethes, that stupid Kraken again?" And I'll save the language. I'm not going to use a language that he used, but at that time, this was the only deck that I had that was ready to go. I only had this one deck. I said, yes, this is the only deck I have right now. I'm going to be playing this again. Before we even started playing, he said, "I'm going after you and only you first." So I don't know what I did to upset him. Maybe this was that threatening to him, a 12/12. He was scared of seeing that come out. And the other players were playing like they were. And I was out because I had nothing. And I was constantly attacked by his commander. I forget what it was at this point. But he just nonstop attacked me. I was pretty angry. And I have played Magic for this year. It'll be 20 years since I've been playing Magic. Granted, I haven't always played Commander. I think I started playing Commander in 2014. But yeah, I love Commander because of the singleton format and everything. But I had been playing for a while, and just that interaction that I had with that player put such a bad taste in my mouth, with having just this random sea creature theme deck, no other, like, other than the help from Commander's Quarters and Mitch giving me the idea and watching a few of his videos. I took his ideas, shifted some stuff around, made this deck my own. I love this. I don't think I'll ever take this deck apart. I may change other cards in there periodically, like as the Comas came out. I put those in there easily. But I may, like the Teferi's Time Twist, I think it was, that one's probably going to be the first one out once I find something worthy of replacing and fitting in this deck well. But anyways, what that player did was he created such a beast inside me to be more competitive, to play a better, like, focused deck that was just so mean. And just a second, let me grab it. So, and in creating, it kind of, like, it did kind of create me, or get me kind of ticked off and angry a little bit. So I thought, what could I do to make something more annoying and competitive than what he had? And the beast inside me said, the first sliver. So the next video I'll do will be the first sliver and slivers and just how annoying they are. This is a more focused deck, and yeah, I look forward to doing more videos. I will touch on in that video about this deck box. This is also a very special deck box that I got for myself. But yeah, I will do more deck videos when I can, and in the description to this video I will add my Moxfield link to the deck list. Any decks that I have finished are on there, so you can kind of see what's there. I will do more in-depth videos kind of with these deck techs to kind of show how I play, show my what do you say, like interaction, my thoughts behind cards, putting them in there. But yeah, that Arixmethes was my first deck that I built from the ground up, learning Commander. I was gifted another deck. That deck is currently under construction. I will not give that one away until it is done and finished and sleeved up and ready to go. Also, all these are double sleeved. All my decks are double sleeved. All the inner sleeves are the KMC Perfect Fit I've got on Amazon, and different decks have different sleeves on them. Some of them are from different companies, and I'll just kind of go over those as I go to different videos. I hope to see you on the next one. If you would like to, if you would also like to subscribe, all the YouTube stuff and whatnot. I plan to also try to maybe make a shorter video, or if not, put a sample video of this up on Instagram and TikTok. Feel free to follow me there. Yeah, ask me any questions. Yeah, hope to see you on the next one. All right, peace.